experience, including band jamborees, food, activations, and fellowship. For tickets and information, visit meaxwacktalents.com.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down. It's like a loop machine.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
As gangsta, I got some words to thank ya. You see what a man is. That's what I told she said.
I'm attorney Clinton Paris, and Tampa's my community. I grew up here, went to school here, and my wife and I make our home here. What makes Tampa special are its people. So when I represent someone injured in my community, it's personal. Call my office and speak to a real lawyer and not some referral service. I will fight the insurance companies to get the settlement that you deserve. At the law office of Clinton Paris, we take the pain out of being heard.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Sugar Chateau Desserts is a specialty bakery located in the Charlotte, North Carolina metro area. We will create delicious and one-of-a-kind treats for any occasion. Sugar Chateau is currently shipping cakes in a jar, offering a variety of different flavors in a single-serve container that can help you celebrate in accordance with social distancing. Place your orders today by calling 803.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Damn, I'm looking dark. I ain't even. Let me see if I cut the light on. What happened? Nothing. I'm still dark. Shit. I don't know what to tell y'all, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just dark. Hell, get over it. All right, what's happening? Today is the 16th of July. It is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm here in the A. And we about to do what we do. I got Mo in the. In the green room. I'm finna bring him on. I'm kind of nervous, because. In my mind, the first 5 minutes I should be here by myself. But I know I've been slacking a couple of times. So I don't know if y'all call the principal on me and he here to make sure I show up on time, so I don't have to end up in the corner. You know what I'm saying? Listen, ladies and gentlemen. I just turned 60 the other day. I'm not doing no time out shit. I'm not. I met a friend. What the hell? Oh, I met a friend earlier today and they asked me, it's like, do you still doing the same shit? I said, what you mean? I say, first of all, it ain't me. It's these two dudes on my shoulder. One be like, do it. And then the other one be like, now. So it ain't like I got a good and a bad. I got a bad and a worse. So y'all need to leave me alone when I don't be doing nothing wrong. And quit telling on me. Mo in Arizona, he can't make me stand in the corner for Arizona. And I blocked it so my mama can't watch the show. So, that's how I feel about this. We going to bring more. What is going on with my mouth? It just got a mind its own. It's doing what it want to do. It's like it's possessed. Let me see what Mo got for me. See if he gonna cause trouble. What's up, big dog?
You enough trouble, man. You don't need me in that department, man.
Listen, man. First of all, it wasn't me. First of all, I don't care what the damn video show. I don't care what the people said. It wasn't me. I'm sticking to that, and I mean it.
Oh, yeah, that's what Shaggy said.
You know what I'm saying? There ain't no video, so it is what it is. So, first of all, we're gonna talk about something. Oh, I'm gonna let Mo talk about it. I don't know if Joe and Philip coming.
Yeah, no. I was gonna tell you. Hold on, DVP. I saw Joe in the private chat. I think somewhere, man.
That probably was just me.
That was the name. Okay, all right, go ahead, man.
So, hey, man, my little mouse is possessed by demonic forces and shit. So we're gonna give Puffy a quick little segment, but y'all know I'm a Tupac fan. You know what he said? If you ain't down with Bad, but fuck you, fuck Puffy, fuck Biggie, fuck all of them. You know what I'm saying? If you down with Bad Boy Records, hey, fuck you too. I'm not trying to hit it. But on a more serious note, like I have a serious side, and I do. Y'all gonna quit playing with me. I was talking. I had a couple of conversations with people, and I'm amazed, Mo. I'm amazed. Like I got 2 calls about people who watched a rerun of a show. I watched one time, and I heard the way I sounded, and I tried to watch it with the sound off. It don't translate well if you listen to the shit. But 2 people called me. It's like, hey, man, this lady, she inboxed me. She said, D, I really appreciate you. And I said, what's up? It's like, we saw you showing domestic violence. I'm like, man, I ain't did a show on domestic violence since like I had hair. So I don't know how you saw it, because I know I ain't talked about it in a minute. But she was like, yeah, me and my daughter was watching it. And, I ain't think nothing of it. I was telling her that I know you and yada, yada. She's like, then she just bust into tears. I'm like, do I sound that bad? And she's like, nah. She said, but when you was talking about stuff, it was stuff that she had wanted to talk about, but she didn't want to tell me because she didn't know how I would take it. So, your show opened up a conversation for us. So I appreciate when you have uncomfortable conversations, because it's a lot of stuff. She said, I would have never talked to my daughter about domestic violence. I thought everything was good, but she didn't want to tell me. So I was like, oh, okay, that's what's up. So I just want to say, sometimes, fam, for real, this ain't got nothing to do with me. This is just what people will inbox me. They'll call me on my phone. They'll shoot me a text. Or sometimes I just read stuff whenever I do manage to get on Facebook. And for real, a lot of this is just shit I see when I'm going throughout my day. You know, one of the domestic violence thing, it started, I had a whole show planned, but I saw a girl jumping on a dude at a bus stop. And I saw everybody waiting for him to swing on her, and I knew they was gonna run to help her. But while she was hitting him, nobody was doing anything. And you know, that's how I got into that segment about men being abused and them being the silent victims. Because I'm willing to bet that 95% of men would never call the cops if they were getting, one, you know, it ain't manly, but two, if we're being honest, very few women can beat a man. And the man know that. So he just, you know, he take the hits, he take the licks as long as they ain't in life threatening. And he just gone, you know, he may just walk away. Not knowing that he's a victim of abuse, kind of like with the sex thing. A lot of men were molested, raped, whatever you want to call it, but they didn't know, because at our age, you couldn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? We supposed to be lucky to get some. If the teacher wanted to give us some, that was a good thing. If the babysitter wanted to give us some, you know, shit, we the man. We didn't realize what was happening to us. So, you know, we're gonna keep having uncomfortable conversations. Y'all send me topics y'all want to talk about, and send more topic. Joe will be around. Theo Huxtable. You know, send the guys a topic. You know, the only thing I can tell you, honestly, it's off limits for me, and you'll never know it, is I would not do a segment on any of my clients. I ain't gonna tell you who my clients are, but if you send me something about it, I may do a segment on it, but it won't on what they're doing, but it won't be on the client. I guarantee you, I'm not gonna lose my money for y'all. That's as real as I can keep for those y'all who like me for my honesty. I'm not finna cut off my own money just because they did something crazy. Now, if they did something R. Kelly-ish, I'm leaving. But you know, just in general, I got clients who have done some shady things, but it didn't test my moral fiber. So whatever. So how everything been going with you, Mo?
Man, I can't complain, man. You know, day by day, brother.
Anything going on with your reading program?
No, you know what? That's interesting. Yeah, no. So just you know, for people watching, if you don't know what DVP is talking about, I got these. I'm trying to get these programs going. It's kind of online reading programs. I got a couple books, and I'm trying to set it up so that people we can all meet online, read the books out loud, and have discussions, because the books are nonfiction books about topics that are relevant in the Black community. All right, and you know, so one of them is about policing in America, and the other one is just about struggle and survival as a Black person in America. So both relevant books for this audience. And if you want to join, you know, just hit me up, or you know, hit DVP up, and he'll connect you, and you know, I'll get you plugged in. I think it's a good thing, just because, you know, a lot of it, especially if you got, I'm going to tell you, it's definitely good for adults, but if you have teens, it's definitely going to benefit them, because those two topics, one way or another, they're going to run into them. It's inevitable. If you're rich, you're going to run into police at some time. If you're poor, you're going to run into survival and trying to figure out what you need to do in life. So either way, you know, they're good topics. But just want to throw that out there. And DVP, man, at some point I threw a topic out there. We don't need to talk about it right now. When you're ready, though, if you want to, if you've seen it, we can talk about it. We can talk about that movie Sinners.
You know.
Oh, I thought you were gonna take your glasses off. I'd be like,
I will. That's why I move my hand. So this is what we're gonna do. Mo, see, let me just say this. I love Mo like a little brother. But what Mo do, Mo come in and Mo start shit. And he throw it at me so it look like I'm starting shit. But listen, if y'all watch some of the shows, I'm like, we got a racer, speed racer thing, I think, going on almost. Except he calls me to do shit and he sit back and look innocent. But I'm telling y'all, I be trying to be the peacemaker, ladies and gentlemen. Unless somebody bother me, I do be trying to be the peacemaker. But since he brought this movie up, because I happened to see it the other day. So go ahead, Mo. Let's talk about Sinners.
All right, y'all. DVP's movie review. That's what we're gonna call this. I ain't got nothing to do with it. This is all DVP. Even my comments fit under DVP's movie review. Just so y'all know how this works. All right. So All right, so let me see. If first of all, if y'all haven't seen it, turn the channel because we ain't gonna talk about too much detail, but just the overarching movie. So I'm gonna jump right in and just say Michael B. Jordan did a fantastic job as he played two people and did a great job. I thought his acting was top notch and spectacular. Thoughts, DVP?
I'm gonna let you finish.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna do the whole thing, man. That's too much for me. My brain. By the time I finish, you ain't gonna remember nothing. So, and I ain't gonna remember what I asked you. So we're gonna do it little by little. So I'm starting start with Michael B. Jordan. I thought he did a great job. It don't matter what the plot of the movie was or nothing. He did an excellent acting. He did an excellent action job, and I thought he did great. But what's your thoughts, man?
Okay, I thought he did a good job.
Yeah. Okay, you agree with that?
Yeah.
So a couple of the plots of the movie stuck out to me. So the first one that stuck out to me, this one, I mean, I don't know if it's Ryan Coogler or whatever it is, or just I couldn't tell you, but it's always the love interest in the movie in Ryan Coogler's movies. A lot of times is a white woman, okay, because it was the same thing in this movie. There was two love interests, but one was a white woman, one was a black woman. But that the white lady stuck out to me just because she was and I forgot the name of the Michael B. Jordan's character, but I'm gonna just call him Michael B. Jordan. But she was the love interest of Michael B. Jordan. Now, with that said, I also thought about this. She was the love interest of Michael B. Jordan's character when he was evil. So what's that say? So the evil Michael B. Jordan aligned with the white woman, right? And then there was a good well, he was evil too, but he was less evil. He aligned with the black woman. So I don't know if that was a theme Ryan Coogler was trying to make, but it stuck out to me. Thoughts?
I started getting Black Panther vibes from the movie. Yeah.
Meaning what? What's that? Go a little deeper for us. Meaning what?
I thought the movie had good intention.
Yeah.
But somewhere, I'm always confused how. It's a word I want to use without being bad. Why we insist on pushing white people to the top?
Yeah, no, I understand. So and DVP. So I'm with you, man, because look, here's another theme that stuck out. This one is current today and has been current for a long time, and it was when we talk about trade, right? In the movie, the black people had to do trade with the Asian people, right? I could not miss that. I'm like, okay, so what happened? The black people don't have an infrastructure of their own, so they got to go do trade with the Asian people. So that hit me because I was trying to figure out. I'm like, okay, hold on, we in this town, and all the black folks have to go to this Asian business to get their products, to get their food, to get everything. And so that kind of stuck out. And like I said, maybe this was the whole point Ryan Coogler was trying to make. Is like, okay, this is a theme that's relevant to even today. But, it was just something that stuck out to me. I don't know if you saw that or what you think about that.
I couldn't get over the fact that the Asians had no accent. I couldn't move past that. I was like, why do they sound like that? Why do they sound? I couldn't get past it.
Oh my God.
What's really going
on? Yeah. Okay. I got, and it went smart too, man. They were real smart,
Like, they don't sound like Hop Sing from Bananas. I'm like, what the hell is going? Why do they sound? They almost sound Cajun. What is really going on?
Yeah, I noticed that myself. Yeah, that's a fact.
I was like,
I mean, and I know just so everybody know, I know we kind of critiquing the movie based on reality
and realism, but that's where we are right now. You know, as something that's like a fictional movie, you know, none of this matters. But you know, as just stuff that you notice, you know, watching movies, you know, it was just very interesting.
And see, one of the things I have a problem with, which is why I stopped listening to people. See, if I watch Black Panther, if I watch it as a comic, I'm okay with it.
Right.
I'm really okay with it.
Right.
But when people kept putting it out to be a black inspired movie, I had problems with it. Because if I'm looking at it from a black perspective, the movie sucked to high hell. I don't care who went to see it. I don't care what y'all were doing. Y'all still didn't pay for, y'all still didn't go to the schools and buy lunches or nothing. So y'all wasn't really that fucking enthused. But as a Marvel movie, Black Panther was great. Because I rewatched everything with comics in my mind and not blackness.
Right.
Right.
And I agree with that. I agree with that because one of the things was, you know, it was, the whole movie was black on black. So if you're thinking of it as a realistic thing, all you got is black on black, you know, fighting each other. So that's no good, right? So you gotta look at it from his comedy, from his theatrical perspective, you know, if you want to get anything out of it. And that's kind of how I looked at it too.
Right. So it's like, you know, let it be what it is. And that's one of the things I notice about us, that we love to say, just because two black people in it, we love to make it be the next great movie. I like the movie. I'm glad I didn't pay to go see it. If somebody told me to watch it again, I wouldn't. Unless, you know, I'm watching it to look for something specific. Because, you know, if it's fantasy-ish, I want to be taken away. I want to see some good shit, you know. And I know I'm looking at movies a little too hard sometimes because I'm looking at them when they drive the car, and I can't get past the fact that they can drive the car with the top down, and ain't nobody head blowing off in there. They ain't going that fast. And it's like an old movie because the crops ain't even moving. Ain't nothing moving. Ain't no wind, ain't no nothing. It's like they just in a car, and you supposed to. And it's like, come on now. If this supposed to be, come on now. So to me, it's little things like that that say you don't even care enough about your viewers to try to get them not to see this shit.
Right.
Or you want these people who would just be fascinated with the fact that you got Michael B. Jordan in it, or that you're Ryan Coogler, and they'll overlook some things. And you know, and I said, you know, I know I shouldn't be as critical, but in my world, and don't get me wrong, I bootlegged it. But if I'm gonna pay $20 for a movie, I want to see some good shit. Like I say, the acting, I can't argue with. Some of the plot line, I was good with it, but then every now and then they say something that was really cartoonish, and I'm like, where did that come from? You know, and it's and we're gonna stay on this, but it's like when I watched Martin Luther King, I wanted to like it. I swear I wanted to like that movie. I wanted to so bad. I couldn't get over the fact that they had to throw in there that Martin cheated. What did that have to do with anything? And since a black man wrote it, to me that was a dig that was unnecessary, and to me it ruined the whole film because it had no parts. It had, okay, so he cheated. What did that affect? Nothing. It was just you wrote a movie and you just gotta throw a jab at the man. Come on, really? That's what we doing now? That's what we doing.
Let me so I gotta chime in on that because I felt some kind of way when they showed that, and later on when I thought about it, I felt exactly like you felt, and it was just like, you know, even though it was real, even though that may have happened and was true, I thought the movie was really supposed to be about his, you know, be a legacy movie about all the great things and good things he did for let's say America, you know, or whatever, you know, or black people in America. And so it felt like a smear campaign, just to tell you the truth, you know.
Right. You know, that I just didn't see the purpose for that little shot. And it's like, damn, you know, but here y'all go talking about what we don't do or how we always got to bring each other down. What was the purpose of that? It served no purpose in the overall theme of the movie. It ain't like the woman came up. It ain't like the woman had this kid who took over something. There was just no need for it. And that's why I hate listening to people when they say, when they make it to be a black movie and something that we got to go see because it's a black movie. And again, if I'm being honest, one of the biggest reasons I don't do movies anymore is I got a problem with making millionaires more money when we got poor people that we won't support. But we like to keep saying, let's help these millionaires make more money. And truth is, they already got paid. So all we helping is Disney or whoever the company is, while our neighbor's starving. So to me, it would make me a hypocrite to pay $20 for a movie if I know that with that same $20, I could buy a family something to eat. So,
yeah,
I do a lot of stuff on Fire Stick because I just ain't seen, I truly haven't seen many movies that was worthy of me putting out real money for.
Right.
But that again, that's my thing. I think most of he gave up watching football. Everybody can give up something that suits them and what their moral compass is, and I'm all for that. If you want to give up something, one of the topics, it don't really matter what nobody else thinks. When you do it, you got to do it for you. If you're doing it for other people, then that means you don't have any skin in the game.
Yeah.
And I can sit back and tell Mo White why him not watching football matters or don't matter, but it's still his decision. He can tell me about the movie. It doesn't matter. We all, at some point, we have to live for us. What are my values? What are his values? And that's what we got to stick with those to stay true to who we are. Here come the old wise one. He gonna probably give us a breakdown on the concept of sinners, and he probably know who wrote here. He probably built that barn they burned down.
Joe,
what's going on, Commander Obi-Wan?
What's up, brothers?
What's up, man?
You got it, man. What's going on?
Hey, man, we just sitting here waiting on you to call some shit.
He looks ready too, man. He look ready.
This is gonna be my only racial comment for the show. It's always the light-skinned guys that do shit. So I just want you to know, it's always them. That's all I'm gonna say. What's happening with you, man? How your week been?
Good. So who are you calling light-skinned? It must be Mo.
Hey, I think I got you by a little, man. I got you by a little.
Yo, more paper sack brown. You still frozen French fry.
Oh,
still frozen.
Frozen French fry.
You still frozen.
Man, God, Jesus, man.
I've heard Judy Brown. I've heard all those. Okay, that's all right.
Hey, but again, y'all know how it is. These are two brothers I respect. Sometimes I don't know why. Because I don't know which one causes me to do the most insane shit. Remember I told you about the bad voice and the worst voice, and every now and then they flip, so I get confused because I'm like, I ain't gonna be as bad as then I go this way, but they don't flip on me, so I end up talking to the worst voice. I do some shit, and this one was like, I would have told you to wait 10 minutes. I was like, well, shit, I should have been talking to you, but anyway.
Yeah.
So,
hey, Joe. Those are two little DVPs on his shoulder. It ain't got nothing to do with you and me, man.
Yeah.
I'm thinking right. it's a Joe and a Mo. That's what I'm thinking. So Joe, have you seen Sinners?
No, I got to tell you, I'm not a big horror fan.
It wasn't a horror.
Yeah, it wasn't a horror.
Well, it wasn't a horror as in movie type.
Right.
Maybe as in But anyway,
it's. I think you get classified under weird shit. You could probably put it under that. Yeah.
I'm gonna put it on. If you ain't a hostage, don't do it. It had its moments. It had its moments, but like I said, there was a couple of times I was thinking to myself I could have had a V8.
Okay. No, I'm not. That genre, for lack of a better term, is not something I'm necessarily interested in. For a lot of reasons.
Yeah, because I would say it's probably more supernatural than horror.
Yeah, I would say that too.
But
and here's the thing, and this is going to probably not sound right, but just because you can't see it, don't mean it can't happen.
Yeah, but it didn't rank up there with The Lost Boys, which I think is a classic.
Oh God!
That's a classic.
Don't say that in the same sentence, man. What you doing?
No.
Look, man, when Lost Boys came on, I had nightmares. I'm looking around for some leather jacket wearing white boys. I'm like, uh-oh.
Hey, look, we had scary movies in my time, but look, I'm gonna tell you the one that you talk about nightmares, Joe. The one that gave me nightmares, man. Some people might not even know it because of our age. Salem's Lot.
Yes.
And that,
Yes.
ooh, boy.
Well, now let me ask you something. What did you all have? Because we're all from different parts of the country. Did you all ever have creature features?
Oh, I never
A
heard
show
of
called
that.
Creature Features.
I never heard of
I ain't
that.
never heard of that.
It would either be Friday or Saturday night. Creature Features would feature Lon Chaney or one of those.
Oh, okay.
And I gotta tell you, Lon, man, listen, when they buried Bela Lugosi, someone said, and I'm not sure, I haven't verified it, they buried him in his Dracula outfit.
In a what?
In his Dracula outfit, man.
A garlic outfit? What did you say? Garlic outfit.
You know, so but you know, some of these stories, here's the interesting part. Some of these stories have some historical significance. I mean, the whole Dracula tale, you know, there is a place called Transylvania.
Yeah, right. Yep.
There was Vlad the Impaler, that his thing was we slaughter everybody and just put their heads on a pike.
I like that movie too.
But think about this. In the Bible, Judas hung himself from a particular tree. So the story of the vampires is that they have to get killed with a certain wood originally. Now it's just any wood, but there was a particular tree. So you put that in context, you know. So where were these guys getting these stories from? And if you look and really dive into some of these things, they're taking them not only from history, but they're taking them from actually part of the Bible. So I just find that interesting.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting fact. Yeah.
See, this man know everything. He know everything. I'm just saying. You know, it's two people in the world that's supposed to know everything. Mom's supposed to know everything, and Joe's supposed to know everything. That's it. If one of them two don't know it, it ain't true. That's all I'm saying. They don't know it ain't true.
My vote was for Trina and Diane. Diane is my wife. Trina is yours. So and Mo. So those are the three people I look for. You got quiet, huh, son? Son?
I told you I ain't looking for trouble. You know what the song said? I brushed my shoulders off. So right now, ain't nobody on my shoulders. I'm not gonna let you two get me there. You know, so last week I was supposed to talk about understanding your worth. And I talked to some people, and they're like, well, how you know what you're worth? And I was like, well, what are your values? And I was amazed at a number of people who don't even know what they value. They want to go along to get along. And there's nothing wrong with that, because some of us, that's what we need to do. As we talk about the three different categories, when three different topics, you know, you'll hear the same people who don't know their worth will say they don't care what nobody think. And every time I hear people say that, I just laugh, because I'm 60. Joe probably like 60 in 3 days. Mo still a baby.
56, man. I'm a baby.
Listen, man. In 28 minutes, I remember 56. You know what I'm saying? But until then, I don't remember. But at some point, I would tell you, and I'm gonna speak for these two brothers. I'm gonna give them a chance to correct me. But at some point, what you do, other people have influence on it, whether you go here or there. So to sit back and say you don't care what nobody think, you might not care what everybody think, but there's somebody who doesn't live with you, who does not live with you, who is not related to you by blood or marriage, who has a lot of influence on what happens next in your life. So if you're not to care about nobody, your bosses, your job, your this or that, I find those people amazing, because those the ones who say it the most are always the ones who's like, yo, man, I need a loan. Like, what happened, man? Well, I quit my job. I told them I wasn't taking that shit no more. So what you Google? You did what? Man, I ain't gonna let nobody talk to me that kind of way. Now, you all three of us can tell about the way we've been talked to, but we remember we had mortgage or rent that needed to be. We might have been hungry. That car note was due. So you know what? As long as you don't put your hands on me, see, I can ignore you. You know, you can affect my paycheck. You know, until we get to a point where we can afford to make unwise decisions. But you know, so know your worth. Your worth is what can you do if you piss the boss off. If you don't care, then you good. But if you gotta care, then you ain't worth as much as you think you are. you're elevating yourself for the wrongest reason. Now I'm gonna give these two brothers a chance because I'm willing to bet dimes and dollars that there have been somebody who said something that they didn't like, but the point in correcting them or being obstinate wasn't worth the consequences. Go ahead, gents.
Here, in my career, I've had to bite my tongue on many occasions. And there are a few occasions I didn't, which caused me some promotion. But I will say this, that this thought process is one of maturity, because you'll find, Richard Pryor said it the best. You don't get to be an old man being no fool. Now, see, I didn't understand that. I got to be an old man. As he said, also, all the wise young men are dead.
All of them.
The majority of them. But to the point, it's interesting because at one time, I did care what people thought. At one time, I tried my best to be everyone's friend, to my demise. At one time, I mean, it's probably universal. I've held people that turn around and knife me.
Let me interrupt you for a minute. Trina is upstairs right now putting on a fucking concert. I wish y'all could hear her.
We can hear it.
Can you really?
Yeah. I can hear it. Can you hear it, Joe?
She in the kitchen singing her ass off. I'm hearing it through my head. I'm like, who playing music in the background? I'm like that. She is singing her ass off. I gotta go out there and give her $20 for the ticket I didn't pay for.
Hey man, turn on the light, man. I want to hear. I want some.
I'm surprised you don't hear it. I hear it through my headphones.
I hear a little bit. I thought it was I think she was singing "What About Your Friends."
And I just heard the voice booming, and I was like, damn, she up there doing her thing. Shit.
TLC. I thought she was singing TLC.
Man. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was just wondering if y'all could hear her singing.
Yeah, I heard a little bit.
Like she's taking a break now, but I'm like, damn, that was
taking a break. Intermission.
Bro, I got headphones on. I'm in a room. I got this curtain behind me that y'all can't see, and my door is shut, and I'm downstairs.
Oh yeah.
And she, if I were to go straight up and go where she is, I would have to go through two walls and another room.
Wow.
So she is blowing. Whew. She is blowing. If I could make this reach out there, I would go stand in the hallway and let y'all listen to her. But my headset I ain't got no wireless. I'm gonna have to get a wireless just so I can walk around and do that.
Hey, so just continuing what Joe, you done? I was going to continue on what you were saying.
Please.
Yeah. So just continuing what Joe was saying. I think some of the stuff Joe said definitely applies to me. I went through some of the same stuff, and I think a lot of people get mixed up is their value and their self-worth. Those are two different things. Like your self-worth is the person that says, man, you can't talk to me like that. I'm leaving this job. You set your self-worth on that, and then your value is how much you can demand for pay, right? You go to a job, it's good, 15, 20 different people working at the job, everybody getting different pay, right? That's their value. So you got to get that in check. And then in addition to that comes, if you got people that depend on you and your security, man, look, sometimes you gotta comply. And I can't tell you how many times I wanted to smack somebody in the meeting. I was in the corporate space, man. They didn't know where I came from. And they said something slick, and slick or not, it just felt that way. I'm like, it put me back on the street for a minute, and then I snapped out of it. I'm glad I snapped out of it because I wouldn't have no job. And I was like, okay, I remember where I'm at. But I didn't feel like that was I was trying to cower or play their game or whatever. It just was like this. I call it self-preservation, because I had a wife at home. I got bills to pay. You know what I mean? So you got to do what's best for you, you know. But you want to know what your self-worth is. That's for you have to decide that. But value, you can look that up online. You know what I'm saying? Based on your skill set, based on what you bring to the table, what you know how to do, you can look your value up. You know, you say, yeah, well, I'm a fireman. I'm on ladder. You know, I'm on the large holes. I run large holes. Okay, you look that up online. You see how much you're worth. You know, so two different things.
And I think part of what you touched on was ego. And I think that's where a lot of us lose sight of it because we let our ego get in the way. Like I said, I've had people say something to me. And one of the things that I learned, and I learned this from studying Oriental people, because Oriental people, and I wish we would adopt some of their ways. The family name, that crest is important to everybody. And one of the things I learned, especially when I first became a cop, and if I did this, what would my mama think? So a lot of moves I made were with her in mind because we don't care about the reputation of the family. You know, so I don't give a shit. Well, man, if this is going to reflect badly on the rest of your crew, then why you have that mentality? You know, one of my kids told me once something, you know, they was like, yeah, when I told the guy who my dad was, he was like, oh, just come on in and gave him some because this is a legacy, so to speak, that we leave when we do things like that, as opposed to always being a hothead or always letting everything offend us or think that we got to stand up. And it's crazy to me because the first thing we tell our kids is words don't hurt. I mean, we hear that all our life. So how did somebody saying something get you to the point where you willing to not let your kids eat or not have a place to stay because somebody said something?
Right.
And it's like that, man, he ain't going to disrespect me. And I tell people all the time, you know, see, what I can't do is I can't make nobody respect me. I can't control the disrespect, but I need to know first what disrespect is, because there's disrespect to me and there's disrespect to them. And I gave the story like when I first moved out here in the country. I don't like being called boy. To me, boy is just fucking disrespectful. But white people say boy like it ain't nothing. But the first couple people say, hey, boy, come in. I was like, oh my God, I'm ready to fight. But that's just what they say. They don't mean no harm by it. So I had to, that's when I got to learn what is truly this. Because he turned around and said it to his friend. He said it to his son. So clearly it don't mean nothing disrespectful. It's just how he talk.
Right.
But so was he being disrespectful or did I just take it there? So I'm willing to, once I accepted that, whenever he said it, I could smile about it because I knew he meant it in a non-derogatory way. Unlike the N-word, fellas, don't. You can't call me your N because I'm just not gonna have it. But sometimes we get offended by people who say something, but if we don't know their mode, the way they do things, it might not have been offensive. They might have meant it with the love we miss with it, and this is where our ego get in the way. It's like, hey, what you say? Why are you talking? And my favorite thing is, as long as your feet work, you can walk away from most things that you deem to be disrespectful and smile about them. Because what's the old adage, Joe? He who angers you controls you. So the minute you let people make you do something, you have given them all your control over words. You gave them everything over words. So let me just say this before I let one of y'all talk. See, I got a client who speaks to me wrong, but he pay hella good. So if he called me the N-word, I'm going to close my eyes, I'm going to count to 12, and I'm going to remember that check he's going to give me at the end of the night. And I'm going to let him get away with it. Because he ain't saying it in the derogatory way. He's just saying it like he hear people say it. But that check will let him get away with using it in free talk. He can't call me and say it. But if we just there and I'm on the clock, if he said, I don't get 3 shits. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Hopefully you add a surcharge to the job, man, for that.
He pay good. I will take disrespect from him. He pay. I don't do shit. He
pays
good.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to point out a couple of things. So one is, we was talking about kind of self-control and being unbothered. That's what I want to tell y'all about a situation I saw, which kind of put it in perspective for me. Because where I grew up, everybody first thing somebody say to you, don't be a punk, you got to swing this and that, right? So I think I was a 17-year-old kid. I'm working at this pizza shop, and the pizza shop owner is an Italian guy, mafioso tied, right? Italian guy. And a customer came in, was real angry, man. And I think the customer had the pizza. I don't know if the delivery guy did something or whatever happened. But the customer came in, the customer started yelling at him. Say, I got this pizza. It's all messed up. This and that, this and that, that. So I'm standing there and I'm watching the pizza shop owner. I want to see what he's gonna do, right? This dude was cool as a fan. Didn't get bothered, didn't get rattled, nothing. All he said was, I'll make you another one. Wait right there. Went and made another pizza, get us through the pizza, man. That might not sound significant, but I'm gonna just tell you, seeing that for me was just, it was amazing because it was just like, look, man, there's more than one way to handle circumstances where people come at you the wrong way. You know what I mean? You got a choice. You got options. Because where I'm from, first option, everybody like swing, you got to fight. But he did that with such grace, and it didn't feel like, me watching it, it didn't feel like he lowered himself, because a lot of people worried about, oh, I got to lower myself and comply and this and that. It didn't seem like that. Plus, it was business related, you know what I'm saying? So he trying to keep his business going also. So he had multiple reasons why he needed to be in control of that situation. And I saw that, and it stuck with me forever, man. It's a life lesson. Like I said, I was 17, 55 now. So it just stuck with me. It was amazing.
But he took his power back. And that's what we got to understand. When somebody does something, there is nothing, because they're waiting for you to crack, because they know they got you. There is nothing. My dad told me when I was a cop, I like to fight. And I couldn't get people to fight me. He said, son, if you really want them to fight, you got to stop smiling when they saying shit. You got to stop smiling while you fighting. Everybody think you crazy. You got to look like you scared if you really want them to fight you. But I ain't mad. I ain't even, as I know. He said, don't nobody want to fight the guy who's smiling. Nobody fight the guy, no matter how big and bad they are, and you won't quit smiling. I'm thinking all the shit I'm gonna do to them. I'm like, yeah, I just need them to swing at me. Then I'm finna pop these two tops of can of whoop ass. I got witnesses say swing at me. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be a great day. Cause I can't go home and beat the wife. I can't kick the dog. But this dude who finna swing at me, oh yeah. I ain't finna shoot. I'm not finna tase him. I ain't finna use no baton. Man, I can't wait for this. Go ahead, player. Cause the rules say I gotta let you swing first. If I swing first, I don't get no points. He was like, you got to calm down. He said, you be so eager. You run to the front, you put your hands in your pocket, and you just smiling. I was like, well, damn. Okay, so I got to look like I'm scary. And people don't understand, when you take the power back from somebody who's trying to do something, you elevate yourself mentally. And because everybody look like, damn, that dude calm as shit. And when somebody do something to agitate you, and you just don't break, you be like, oh, okay. Like, what is like, dude, make another pizza. It ain't like, shit. The book, I can write some of these pieces off anyway, so let me just make you another piece. What we gonna argue about? What is there to argue about? Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna give you another pizza, give me your money back. It's cheap for me to make another pizza.
Look, man, you know what you all just said actually relates to Mo's book. Everything you just said is the basis of de-escalation. Think about it. Now, let me tell you this. When I came on the job, I carried 2 guns. That was the thing. You had your service revolver and then your other weapon. So I carried a .357 and a .45, Colt 45. So it roll call.
And you got big ankles.
Yeah, okay, big ankles.
He didn't keep it there.
That's a mighty big gun. Yeah, right. Are you glad to see me sail? Yeah. But anyway, so we had foot patrol. So the older gentlemen normally would get that, or those who've been around. So there's one guy. His name was William Kidd. Nickname was Billy the Kid. Now, I don't know if you know this, Mo, but when you go to roll call, you're supposed to be in full uniform and the gear of the day. Your regulation weapon.
Yeah,
so Billy the Kid would come to roll call, and he always had on a revolver. He never had a cuff. He never had. At that time, we'd just begun carrying mace. So we're in the locker room, and that's Mr. Kidd. How come you don't carry a gun? Here's what he said. And I knew, when the old head talks. He said, young blood, let me tell you something. I'm not running after nobody. I ain't shooting nobody. I'm going to talk them down. He said, if I got to fight somebody, I'm giving them the gun and walking back to the station myself. Damn. And I saw this guy talk to some of the most dangerous characters in the city of Chicago. When some people get here, I'll show them around. In the city of Chicago, we had 25 districts. The hot districts in the city were the 3rd district, 7, which is Inglewood, 11 on the west side, 11-15. The 3rd district at the time was so hot, it had its own. It was the only district in the city that had its own radio frequency. We were also the home of the Stones. So we had Jeff Ford and his group, and Jeff Ford at that time, his people had started buying property. So as it's called, Motown, and still known as that today. It's not your house mode, but it's some young people.
Yeah.
So Motown would get hot during the summer, and I mean literally, because wrong people would come in and do stupid stuff, and there'd of course be retaliation. So they would send this guy, Billy the Kid, would go over and talk to, at the time, the generals.
Whew.
Poof. I mean, we'd have TAC teams over there, which are the plainclothes responding units. They'd have twat over there, as I used to call them. You know, the special operations group. You know, Superman with the S on his chest. One dude would walk over there, talk to everybody. Calm.
Wow, that's amazing, man.
But again, everything we just talked about.
Yeah,
it's two things, and I want you all to be cognizant of this. The two societies that you just referenced, whether it be the Asians and the Italian, had something going that we didn't have. Their families were never broken up like they did ours in slavery. See, the whole idea that people don't mess with the Chinese or the Asians or even the mafia because they have a force. They have a unified force. Whether you agree with it or not, they have it. And if you look at the history of the mob actually started out as police in their country to fight against corruption.
But one thing about it, you're not going to go in Chinatown as anything other than Chinese and talk no shit. Well, you got on the none of that. You just need that thing to happen.
I guarantee you, if you look at the stats from Chicago, New York, LA, and look at their Chinatowns, look at their crime rates.
It should be low, I'm assuming, right?
How about zip?
How about zip? Yeah, because look, so I got to tell you this story because they got a Chinatown in Boston. So I spent some time in Boston, right? And so it's interesting because if you walking on the street, every entrance into the Chinatown is marked by a statue or figurine.
A lion, arch. Yes.
So you know when you're going in, right? And so I never went in. It's just I got this force coming out of there. Just was like, don't go in here, man. You're not supposed to be in there. I don't know what it was.
The line of demarcation.
Yeah, man. So I, when I walked by though, I just was like, man, it's like they got their own land in Boston. It's like I'm wondering why black people haven't done that. That's a long conversation, I know. But
again, see, no other group, not even the Native Americans, were done to the proportion of destruction of the idea of what coming together was. Native Americans all have a couple of things going, not only just a common language, but their religion still holds them together. Whether you be Sioux or Arapaho, Cherokee, they all have a religious alignment.
Right.
The Jews, whether you be Ashkenazi, Orthodox, or whatever, still a Jew. The Muslims have two sects, Shiite and Sunni. They're still Muslim.
And you don't want to fuck with them Shiites. I live 6 months with them. They don't fuck around.
We don't even look.
They call them God's police.
And they believe in it. Sharia law is nothing to play with.
Yeah, you don't want to fuck with them. But but it goes back to, I know we talk about a lot about the African culture that we lost, but we can do like some of these cultures do with some of the things that we do. We can appropriate some of their customs, and I wish we would appropriate the custom of family meaning more. so that when we do things, we do it with our elders in mind, with our upcoming people in mind. You know, I want my kids to be able to I want my kids to be able to gain favor because they can say, well my dad is DVP. Be like, oh, okay, you want it? Okay, come on in. Because we know you come from good stock. As opposed to this is what we're going through now, where everybody wants to be. They think being rough and tough is the answer when it ain't. Diplomats get way more. Diplomats get way more than bullies. They always have and they always will. Because sometimes, you know, sometimes you gotta let, when people see that you don't lose your cool, I guarantee you get a hell of a bigger following. Because people are always on your side. They may not even come forward. Back when I used to get in trouble. And it was crazy. One of the meetings they had, is like, how do you know so much? Because people were always feeding me information. People I didn't even knew what was going on. They was like, yo, D, that shit they doing you wrong. You know, we like that you stand up and you don't take it. But here's something else. Just giving me notes. I might as well have a 1-800 on people come and just give me evidence to use in the fight against the system. But I was never abrasive. I just wouldn't let them just walk over me. If you said something that was crazy, I just got a question. I ain't even gonna get mad. I got a question. So you saying that we can't take our phones on the floor, but if we got kids, they got to call the watch commander's office, know what floor I'm working, and does that make any sense to you? Because y'all don't want us to have phones in the tower. Well, I got a premium. When something's wrong, I need to know right then. I don't need for y'all to sit there and tell my family to be put on hold. So you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put in for family medical leave. You know, I'm helping y'all by coming to work because I could just be on FMLA. But if I can't take my phone with me, then I'm good. I'm good because y'all done got them so we can't call outside. So I can't even call the hospital to check on my kid. I'm good. I'm good. I don't want to help y'all like that. No, because you don't have to fight. You can use your powers of persuasion for other things, and you know that's what gives you power. Because it ain't from having the most muscles. I guarantee you. You look at some of the people who we follow. Look at how small they are. Look at how small Malcolm X was. Look at how small Martin Luther King was. The biggest dudes ain't the ones in charge. Nowhere. Hell, even the crazy dude that y'all got as president. I mean, he tall and he fat, but this dude, he commands millions by saying stupid shit. But that's a whole nother thing. But you don't have to use muscle. You know. So yeah, when you're trying to determine your worth, you need to figure out what it is. To me, one, what can you afford to lose? If it's more than you can afford to lose, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Man, I can start over. Well, that's a dumbass mentality to me. Nobody wants to start over. Even when in retirement, we're not starting over. We're already starting from a place of advantage. I tell people all the time, it's like, man, they offered you a job. Why you ain't take it? One, because I don't need a job. And if I think it's going to bring peace, it ain't going to bring peace to me, I'm not going to do it. No matter what they offer me, because I'm already set. I'm going to get a paycheck regardless. If I take this paycheck, it's going to make my quality of life go down. At this point, I can negotiate. See, when you're 20, 21, you don't get the right to negotiate. You need to get that rent paid, especially if you got bills. You know, and we have to consider these things. And that's like I said, when we were there, I think according to the definition I put in the group, me and Joe are elders. Mo is an OG. I don't think you got to be 60 to be an elder. So when we got to pass this knowledge on to some of these young bucks because they don't understand how the game works, because they think, you know, from watching all these crazy ass movies, that fighting is the only way to get things done. And you know, I'm sure Joe can chime in on this. Even if you look at the most violent man of our time, air quote, how many times did Malcolm X assault somebody? He showed up with a show of force, but there were very few times everybody said, oh, by any means necessary. Do y'all even understand what that means? How many times, hell, Martin Luther King was probably a more physical altercation than Malcolm X was.
Yeah, that's true.
He showed up with an army. He just showed force, but you don't see, you know, the movie, but they didn't get into a lot of scuffles because it served no purpose. He wanted to show that he had a group behind him that was willing to do anything, and nobody ever tested them. But hey, if y'all follow me, this is what we can do next. We just got to show them that we mean business, and that's all it took.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things that he pushed a lot was so I think people get stuck on the picture with the gun. You know, you see Malcolm X on the side
Right.
holding the gun. You know what I mean? That was, you know, those times are necessary, but that's when you need those. But he didn't operate like that 24 hours a day. You know what I mean? So matter of fact, one of the most famous things he said, which I don't think people even appreciate today, was ballot or the bullet. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
he was saying, listen, if you don't vote, you will have to resort to bullets, and that it may come down to that. So, you know, let's get out here and vote, and, you know, make our wishes heard, and, you know, put in your vote, man, you know, whatever you want.
Let me ask you all something. Who do you think was one of the most dangerous men alive in the U.S. at one time? Pick a name.
Black man, right?
Anybody.
Or anybody.
I'm gonna stick with Malcolm.
Okay.
I mean, first thing that came to my head, I don't know everybody, so I'm just say Hitler.
Okay. I said in the United States, but okay. But even at that, Meyer Lansky was 5 feet. Meyer Lansky, who came up with the idea of the corporation of the five families. Meyer Lansky, who helped the Allies land in Italy, 5'0".
Wow, that's a short dude, man.
So, I mean, I'm going to your point is that it's not necessarily the statue, but how you carry yourself. Now, at 5 feet, I'm sure he got picked on, but he pushed back like DVP said. So again, this guy, born in Italy, immigrated to the States, grew into an organization, and they are, whether you like it or not, grew the organization to a multi-billion corporation to this day.
Wow. Yeah. No, you know, I think, and, you know, just listening to DVP, you know, DVP told me, you know, he was saying that, you know, one of the things he liked to do when he was younger, he liked to fight. You know what I mean?
That boy's crazy.
Yeah. So just with that in mind, you know, we're not talking about size and power and all that. We're talking about intelligence and stealthy and knowledge. You know what I mean? So don't all of that other stuff is fantasy, man, and it's just stuff that goes to people's heads.
Yeah. Once I became well read, I became more dangerous.
Look, Mo, you got to remember, DVP was one of the 300 Spartans, so let's just leave it there.
Sparta!
but the crazy thing is that was true. And it took an elder to pull me aside, and he's like, "Why do you always fight?" And it's like, to prove a point. He's like, "What point are you proving?" He said, "For every fight you win, what changed?" I'm like, "Well, shit, I feel better." My dad said, sometimes you gotta do what make you feel better. I ain't worried about the other side right now, but I'm a young buck. And he says, if you want to make change, read this, read the policy, hit them from a knowledge base. It's gonna be way more effective than all the other shit you're doing. I was like, "Oh, okay." So I got rolled up. And I was like, "Man," he said, "You got rolled up then." He said, "What you want to do?" I said, "I want to go punch the shit out of them. If they're going to suspend me, I'm going to give them a good damn reason." He said, "The policy ain't going to change." He said, "Read the book. Tell them how the policy is wrong. Get your money back." I read the book. I filed a grievance. I got my money back. I was like, "Oh, shit."
Yeah.
It's a win. It's no different, except I ain't punching nobody. And now everybody looking at me because it's like, "Oh, see?" And I tell people part of my evolution, that, yeah, I started off as a nigga. I did, because I did a bunch of nigga shit. Then I got to be colored, because I stopped doing nigga shit, but I was still doing colored shit. And then I started doing black shit. Then I got to be a full-fledged Negro. And I ain't no African American, because I ain't going to Africa. I ain't been to Africa. I'm like Winnie the Pooh. Lions and tigers and bears, oh no. So, but this was my evolution because I remember being at the bottom when all I thought fighting was the answer to everything. It don't get you paid. It kept getting me suspended. Oh, I proved them I ain't gonna take no shit though. And I was living from paycheck to paycheck. Once the elder taught me how to do it and taught me how not to worry about that shit, man, I'm looking up one day. I'm like, I wanted to do something that I knew was gonna cause me to get suspension and it was still on paper. And I looked at my savings. What they tell you? Make sure you got enough money saved for 6 months worth of rent. I'm like, shit, I got enough money saved for 6 months of rent. I'm gonna take this suspension like a champ because I know what it's gonna get me. It's gonna get me to the board of commissioners when I do my appeal. So all the money they took from me, I got it back, and then I made them pay me interest for the money I had to borrow. And it's like, damn, this feels better than hitting people. And I learned. And Joe can tell you this. When you file a grievance, when you file a lawsuit, if you win, they can't touch you no more. It's retaliation after that. So now I'm untouchable because I know how to write. So now, even though I'm a full-fledged Negro, now everybody want to call me the Negro because now they don't like me no more. Yeah. But now they can't agitate me. Every time they do something, they see me walking, everybody just get quiet. Because if they say the wrong thing, I'm going to write it down. I'm not going to argue with you. They say, Bill, why you get to keep your phone? I said, because they not gonna tell me I can't bring it up. I asked them. Y'all saying I still can't bring my? Oh, you can bring yours up. Just don't let everybody see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that right there, that just that story reminds me of, it makes me think of one of the things that's kind of missing in, I'll just say our society, or that I don't see much. Like I wouldn't know where to get, I'm gonna call it toolbox expansion, because I was working with a limited set of knowledge, information, and data, right? So y'all all had your own journey, how you expand your toolbox, right? I'm pretty sure it wasn't easy. I'm not gonna speak for you though. You gotta speak for yourself, but I just speak for me. But getting the right tools in my toolbox was a lifelong process, man. It took me like almost 40 years to figure this out, right? So I could have a good set of tools, so I know when to use them, which one to pick, how hard to hit, whatever, you know what I mean? So I had to get to that point. So there's like, from what I can see, there's not really a forum where we can like fill these young, the young men's toolboxes. We got to figure out a way to set up a space. And I think this is one of the things, us talking, we've kind of been through a lot of different things, and just us talking and exchanging information, extremely important, man. A lot of people don't put a lot of weight on that, but information exchange, extremely important. You know what I mean? You can just, because I know when I was coming up, I would hear one or two things. Let's just say one. I would hear one thing. I go think about it, and at the end of my own personal thought process, I might implement a change. And most of the time it was for the better, but just sometimes it's changing anything, at least you'll know if you change something, you'll know, did things get worse? Did things get better? All right. That was my process. I would make changes. Okay. Things get worse. Things get better. Oh, it got worse. I'm going back to where I was. Okay. I hear something else new. Oh, things get worse. Things get better. And that was my process, just because I didn't have the guidance in place to get me there quicker. But, I don't think people have to resort to that if they talk to people like us in this forum. You know what I mean? We very experienced. You can expand your toolbox very quickly. And I don't think nobody on this panel, I ain't gonna speak for you guys, you can speak for yourself, but I don't think nobody on this panel is scared to say, I don't know. I just don't know. And that's a wonderful thing.
But see,
let me say this. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I will say this again. That's part of the maturation, because at one time, it's kind of like those stories. Once a man, twice a child, and it's true if you understand it. I mean, when you're born, you're crawling. When you become a man, you walk upright. When you get old, you're damn near crawling again. Once a man, twice a child. So the idea that we can help people put something in their toolbox, no question, I agree with that. I think we need to put together master classes. And I've said this to you guys before, and I still think we should have our own, if Oprah can have a book club, why can't Black men have a book club?
Let's get to it. And this is all I'm gonna add. And this is one of the things I had to learn. What you don't know, you don't know. There were things I was told to try that I felt uncomfortable about doing. But guess what? It was only uncomfortable because I had never done it. I had never imagined it. So some of the things I picked up was because somebody just said, try it. Try it. Don't keep going by what you heard or what you think. Go ahead and try to see if it's as bad as you believe it is going to be. It's kind of like with vegetables. We hear the word, we don't want to eat them. But some of them actually don't taste bad. I ain't saying all of them. But some of them actually don't taste bad. So sometimes when people tell you to try something, you might not think it's for you, but if you ain't never tried before, even if you did try it before under somebody else, try it. Give yourself 2 or 3 days. I mean, you ain't got shit to lose. But if you looking at somebody and they got a peaceful life, man, how you stay calm all the time? Like, I do this, I do this, I do that. It's like, oh, okay, for real. Shit, I ain't never think, try it. I don't want y'all trying this, but like when I would get in trouble and I would go to the meeting with the chief and he would be yelling at me, and anybody who know me know I can't stand to be yelled at. If you ever want to see me, if you want to push my button quickly, start yelling. This shit just ain't gonna happen. But somebody told me to do something. So, I know I got a meeting. Fuck, I don't want to talk to this guy. I can't keep calling out of work. Gotta go. I would go to Popeyes the night before. Every time he yelled, I just sit in that chair and pass gas. It is physically impossible to pass gas and be mad at the same time. So he like, why you laughing? What's so funny? And I'm thinking to myself, nothing. But when I get up off this cushion, because you can't smell your own poop. I'm getting the good shit. I'm getting the good ones. Every time he says something, I'm letting these SPDs go. I'm letting them go. And wow, I was getting upset, but I couldn't stay upset. That's why I know it's physically impossible to pass gas and be mad. It's just impossible.
It is.
So, when I got up, when he said it was time to go, actually, I was just tired of listening to him. Where you going? I'm done, Oh, you gonna sit back down? No. You're gonna figure out what's up in a minute, because now I'm starting to smell it. So it's getting me. And he's like, was you in my office passing gas? No, I was in there farting. So, and in that, it would be funny because everybody would watch him. He'd be so mad. He'd turn red. And here I am, the dude who about to get suspended. I'm just as happy as I can be. But I took my power back and I gained the following because everybody want to know how you make him mad, because he make everybody else mad. Because he liked to talk down to you. He liked to be degrading. But I'm passing gas. I really don't give a shit. I'm living my thing. Yeah, me and Popeyes, we just leaving our mark everywhere we go. And I'm like, shh. So, but that was something that the elder told me to try. So I'm like, shit, but I ain't got nothing to lose. I mean, shit.
Chapter
Who are you listening to? Barney the Purple Dinosaur?
Hey, it was an elder who gave me a non-violent way to get something accomplished. And like I said, I can laugh about it now because it's just funny as shit. But I could literally see the power exchange, because everybody else who wouldn't know would come out screaming, be mad about this, be mad about that. The last suspension I got, he said, "Oh, you gonna get 5 days." I said, "Well, I'm not coming to work for 2 weeks, so you might as well give me 8 days." And shit, I don't care. I got leave built in. It's gonna either before your suspension or after your suspension. But I ain't coming to work I ain't coming back to work for 2 weeks. Oh, you gonna come to work? I said, I bet I don't. But once you take that power from people, then they don't have nothing else to stand on. But when they know they can agitate you, sometimes they do stuff. And hell, I'm sure we've been guilty of it a time or two, whether it was subconscious or whether it was intentional. We knew that we had somebody on the edge and we could say something that would push them all the way over. Because ain't that what athletics is about? Talking. And if you get in somebody's head, you half the game is over. Because now they thinking about get back instead of playing. But as my friend would say, know your personnel. Some people you say shit to, they get more inspired. You need to know who you can talk out of their game, and you need to be the one that can't get talked out of their game. And this is how you gain power. This is how you increase your worth. This is how you increase your self-confidence, because you know what it takes. So
So I did something similar, but I didn't do no, not the gas passing part, Joe.
Oh.
So
How do I end this damn show?
No, not that part, Joe. So no, but it was a point where I was able to get my power back, man, because at this job I was at, they had this one little side room. These guys thought they were prima donnas. Everybody else on the floor, they're in the side room, you know. So I had to go in the side room. So I went in the side room and asked them a question. I had to ask them a question. And when I went in, I left the door open because I shut it when I go out. You know, I'm not going to go in, shut the door, then ask somebody something, then go out and shut the door. I didn't think I leave the door open. I shut it when I leave. So I get to the dude I'm going to ask the question who I'm going to ask the question of. And he looked at me, he said, "Shut the door." Right? I ain't like the way he said that, right? He said, "Shut the door." And this is how I knew I had got to that point, because normally I would have slapped the shit out of him. Just to be, no, serious, man. Just to, because y'all know you can't. I'm a black man in America, man. I'm already walking around frustrated. You can't do that. Y'all know. I know y'all know. So anyway, he said that, and this is when I knew I had transformed and I was making a change, because I was frozen for about a minute, and my brain was thinking it was transforming from smack the shit out of him to do something different, you know. And I got to the point of do something different. So all I did was ask him. I said, "Hey, man," I said, "You got kids?" He said, "Yeah, I got kids." I said, "You talk to them like that. Don't ever talk to me like that again." And I walked out and shut the door behind me. I knew I had grown then, because I just took a different way. You know what I'm saying? Because most people, he probably would have got smacked. If one of y'all, y'all probably would smack him. Depending on where you were in your stage of life, you know. I knew I was progressing, but you know, that's a good point to get to, where you finally overcome. You got to be in control of your emotions. You got to have emotional control. You know, that's one of the things that will serve you well in the long run. You know, but don't have too much though, because it might prevent you from doing stuff you should do. You know, you should do. You gotta manage it properly. That's all.
I think that the one point that you're making, and let's be clear, you got to be right too. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
You know, the real problem I find, I don't know if you all have heard this lately, but there is now a growing community within our community that has the mantra of screw King and X, what do they do for us? What? And I think I talked to you guys about it before, but I heard it again this week.
Oh my God.
And it seems to be, as I tried to talk to one young brother, I said, don't get hooked into another man's war that you have no idea what it's about. But more importantly, do some research before you take on that mantle.
Oh my goodness, please.
And here's the thing. These same guys that are complaining didn't vote, but yet they'll tell you my vote don't count. Well, if your vote don't count, why are you complaining?
Right.
You know, it's a double entendre.
Right.
You know, one of our friends who will remain nameless, his good friend told me two things. He said, a black man said that Hitler was right, which I lost it, and how he didn't give a good whatever. He's gonna go get his bag. So, and that type of thought process is why they look at us as one Japanese guy said, they look at black people as liquid gold, because everything we do, they get the advantage of.
Mm.
I mean, think about it. In the civil rights movement, based on civil rights movement, we've given rise to rights for everybody else, whether it be LGBTQ, whether it be the Asians, whomever. Immigrants' rights come from our civil rights. So it's interesting because, and I know I'm segueing here, but if you really take a hard look at what's going on, this guy could or attempt to repeal some of the United States Constitution. So when you say voting doesn't count, voting doesn't matter, you're going to get your bag on. Well, if you didn't have those two other issues, you couldn't be allowed, you don't have to be allowed to make money. In fact, your money becomes their money. Your services become their goods.
Yeah.
In fact, new wage slavery.
You know how, Joe, you know how so I went through a lot of metamorphoses with voting, but one of the conclusions I came to is if votes don't count, you wouldn't see those numbers when they counting the votes for the president, you wouldn't see those numbers go down to the single digits. When they show them on screen, they go from they got 7 digits, 8 digits, go down to that last digit. If your vote didn't count, it would not count down to that last digit. And so throw that argument out the window. That's not even an argument.
Certainly. My reply to them is, if your vote didn't count, why are they trying so hard to take it from?
The facts, yeah, right. They did it at the polling booths. They did it from intimidation. I mean, you name it. Not allowing you to get there to the voting booths on time. You know what I'm saying? Not we close it at 3. You got to get down here. I know you're getting off work at 2:57. Don't make it. Yeah, you get off work at 3:30. But if you don't make it, ain't nothing I can do for you. I mean, so if your vote didn't count, they wouldn't play any of those games. Right. So that doesn't make sense. It's common sense, y'all. Common sense, folks.
Let me give you, again, as all of us, my grandparents' parents come from the South. And I'm sure you've heard this, but I heard it from my grandmother years ago and didn't understand it till I got older. If common sense was so common, I'll let you finish it.
You want me to finish this statement?
I'm just saying, but
I know that. Yeah.
Common sense is common.
Right.
When I was teaching at the academy, I used to tell people, if common sense was so common, there'd be no need for what we do.
I mean, that's a fact. In fact, it's information. Put it that way. I won't say it's common sense. It's information we just gave you. So I'll put it that way. But yeah, this is I ran into so many. What's interesting, y'all. Let's see if y'all ran into this. Just during the voting process, I've had conversations, little side conversations about the candidates and who should win and why and all that. And I had several people get into heated debates based on just high level information. They didn't know policies. They didn't know what this person was going to do. They didn't know their position. They didn't know their arguments. Nothing. Just high level stuff. I like that person. And it would be like you on one side saying, no, listen, this is the facts. This is what's going on. This is what the person has said. This is what the person has done. And they're on the other side saying, well, and it would just be a discussion, a stupid discussion, a dumb discussion. And so I don't know if y'all got into those, but I don't waste my time with them anymore. You've done that, Joe?
I have. People would tell me the biggest. Here's the thing. Everybody's read the Bible and they know certain things. Some things they are not really aware of. What was Judas's sin? Because all the apostles had sins. Does anybody know what Judas's was?
Go ahead.
I didn't read it.
Well, you should, but it will probably burn your little hands. But
the little devil on the left shoulder need to read it.
But his sin was hypocrisy. He was a hypocrite. If you look at some of the worst offenders are hypocrites. You look at these preachers that stand up there on Sunday and talk about the gospel, and then the other 6 days they're out doing bullshit.
Right.
You look at the preachers that talk about, oh yes, give to the church, and look at how much that church puts out.
Yeah.
My grandmother. Oh my God, I don't know about you guys, but my grandmother lived in church. Lived whatever that pastor said. Oh, pastor said. I'm like that. So and so don't know nothing. and those type of people still hold sway. And look at it like this. Even in today's day, where do politicians go in the Black community now? They go to the mega churches.
Yeah.
Universal. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, it's true.
And it's interesting, but it's also frightening because they don't do that to white folks. Joel Osteen is again, when the floods hit, it took social media to make him open his doors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, Osteen is not, he's not even recognized as having a degree in theology, and he's never been to a theological school.
Yeah.
Just food for thought. But anyway, I digress.
What's up, Chris Stanley from Miami Gardens? But these man, it was so much that was just said right then. Is I'm trying to do the right thing because it's 7:20. I'm trying.
Oh, let me add this.
See, I told y'all who it was.
I
told y'all.
Well, you said something. The discussion during this last election cycle was about, of course, Kamala Harris. They talked about that girl like a dog. I had Black people tell me, well, the Lord says that women can't lead. I'm like, well,
oh God, Jesus.
What Bible did you read, please? Please show me that. They talked about education. Then the best one was she didn't do nothing but lock up Black men. I'm like, so I can tell you don't read. And the guy said, what are you talking about? I said, well, just so you know, she actually put together a program that should have gone national that addressed recidivism in Black male. It was so successful that they
that was the singer, y'all. She ain't gonna do nothing now. She just humming.
Tell her sing on, baby. Dang him.
He said, "Sing on, baby." Damn me. Joe,
I heard that. I like it. But
you heard it. Hold on. Let me put you on the house speaker.
Let me see who it is. See if I want to sing for me.
Hold on. How do I do this dang on thing right here? Say something. Say something, Joe.
Something, Joe.
Oh, now you ain't gonna talk.
He said it. He said something, Joe.
Anyway,
can't stand Black people.
So again, going back to this election, they dogged this girl. I believe she was the AG. And I mean, she did her job. Then they talked about her education. I said, well, wait a minute. At least you saw her grades. You never saw those other guys' grades from nowhere. We're not even going to talk about his taxes. We still haven't seen those.
Yeah.
And here's my favorite. Just today, if you go back and look at the last 6 months of campaigning, they raised the Epstein issue on Biden and Obama. Today, the guy said, well, why are we still talking about Epstein? You're the one that brought it up.
Yeah.
You're the one that you campaigned on it. And the problem is that people have gotten DVP, you talked about it before, the high level information and low level information. They are capturing us at the low level and they're playing off of that. But I digress.
So Joe, I just want to make a one point on something you said, and you were saying that people were saying that women can't lead. So I'm gonna just throw this facts out here. So I think the people who say that don't really know African history. because if you say that, you are really denouncing the entire culture of Africa. In Africa, women lead. Women are the matriarchs. Think about, and then also think about nature. Think about nature. Who leads the elephant packs? The matriarchs. Who, and there's several animal clans like the hyena clan, the lions, all that. And the women, the females lead the pack. So that theory is just way off to even think like that. And I'll tell you, I got by that a long time ago, but one thing that DVP helped me with, I got to keep giving him credit though, because one thing he helped me with, man, I said, hey, Joe, you might know this story, man. I say it a lot, but I said, DVP, man, if you and your lady in the bed and it's one gun, and y'all hear somebody coming up the stairs, and they about to get y'all, man, they coming to get you. Who taking the shot? And I'm thinking, just because I think like American males, right? I'm thinking, well, I'm gonna get the gun, I'm gonna take the shot, I'm taking responsibility. You know what DVP said, Joe? I'm gonna let you guess, Joe. You probably know the answer. What did he say, Joe?
Trina.
No, he said whoever's the best shot.
Okay.
Oh my man, you know how that is. That right there helps you change your whole mentality.
But you got to always look with DVP. You got to always use follow-up questions. So who's the best shot?
Well, that scenario was based on my first wife. She was a SWAT shooter. I can fight like a champ. If you want me to shoot something, let me fight. You shoot. I'm gonna hit it, given enough bullets. But if I can touch it, I'm gonna win. But yeah, she could, she one on one back then. She could shoot the wings off a fly. So yeah, you take the shot, baby. That whole flash of light, that loud noise. It wasn't good. It wasn't good for my inner peace.
So the point is, it just debunked all of these, all of this. Women can't do this. Women can't do that. Women should do this. Women stay in this place. Women stay in that place. Men do this. Men do that. That argument's garbage. It's garbage, y'all.
They also use that argument for Black folks when they came on most of these departments. You'll find that when they first instituted the educational standards across the country, it was really meant to slow us down. But what they found out, Blacks had more degrees than the whites did. In fact, the whites had to go back to school in droves as opposed to what we did. I mean, the numbers are there, New York and Chicago and LA.
Wow.
Statistically, we were more educated. And that's the other thing. We always have to be better than, not equal to. You have to be better than. Never, ever qualified. You got to be either well qualified, exceptionally qualified.
And it's crazy how easy that is. If you look at historically, the best leaders ever, the best person that you ever worked for, you know what they all did great? They all knew when to take a back seat and let a subordinate do their job, and they just sit back and take the credit. Yeah. Because hey, oh, you need what? Let me call somebody. They don't sit there and try to answer questions. They got people to do just that. And like I said, when we think of our favorite supervisors, they let us do our job. They ask us questions. They didn't come in there and tell us, hey, I want you to fix this. I want you to do it like this, this, and this. They're like, hey, can you get it done by 6 o'clock? And they let you do your thing. And then when it came back, you didn't hear them saying, yeah, I told so-and-so to get it done. They're like, so-and-so did that. Oh, you got a great department. Well, I got great people. This guy can do this guy. And it's like, we know this. And with the scenario I was given with Mo is sometimes we feel the need, we don't understand that being in charge does not mean you always have to lead from the front. If I say, oh, I wouldn't do nothing. I wouldn't ask my people to do nothing I wouldn't do. Well, that's crazy. There's a lot of shit I can't do. I'm asking somebody else to do it. I can't do everything. There's a lot of things I can't do, but they're under my, I'm in charge of them. But no, I need to get so-and-so to do this. Listen, I can cut the water on in my shower. I sound like Luther. When that water go off and I come out that shower, I sound like Squeaky. The other person who y'all heard singing, she don't need water. I don't sound the same. So if somebody like, hey man, want to hear a concert, I'm gonna give me some Bluetooth headsets. The next time she start that shit, I'm gonna break the show and I'm gonna sit on the steps so she can't see me because she'll stop singing if she see me.
How did I get in this?
Because you were singing.
I know, but what y'all talking about? Epstein and them?
See, this is what happens when you try to have a show with a live studio audience. This is why sometimes it don't work. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's best that, you know, back in the day when I used to just sit in a room by myself, I didn't have. So the moral of the story is if y'all ever do a show, don't do call-in. but yeah, the best leaders know how to let their people do their thing. They don't sit around and beat their chest and do nothing. They sit back and let other people do stuff for them. And we can do the same thing because most of us know who is good at what in our own little tribes. And for some reason, the worst of us don't ever want to share credit because we think taking credit for everything puts us in a better spot. And it never has. It never has. And it never will. It's not sustainable. Let me say that.
So on that note, let me just add this, Joe, and then you can jump in. I just want to make this quick comment, and that is that as long as I was watching the Lakers, Magic never told Kareem what to do. Kareem never told Magic what to do. They respected each other's expertise in their own personal space, still worked as a team. That's what I think you got to aspire to get to.
But and it's funny you use that. If you look at it, they did have an argument one time, and Magic said, Kareem said, "Get me the damn ball." He said after that was it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's like sometimes all you gotta do is tell me.
Yep.
Okay. So and that's okay because again, when you're doing leadership, sometimes you have people who will say, "Hey, I can do this," and what do? You say, "Go forth and send no more play. Let me know when you're done." Because once you give them the ability to show you what they can do, some people excel at challenges. They excel, and you know, the micromanager. Oh, I need everybody to do the same amount of thing. Well, Joe been at top level management. That it never works that way. You're gonna have those that excel, that can work without themselves, those who excel with being micromanaged, and those who just ain't worth shit. But for anybody to sit there and think all three of them levels gonna work together, it ain't gonna happen if you're trying to make everybody contribute equally. So
here's my philosophy on that. Joey, did you have something before I start?
No.
Okay, so here's my philosophy on that. Y'all, I want y'all opinions on this. This is my philosophy on I call it micromanaging and not being able to give up control. My philosophy is that it is rooted in fear. And it's rooted in fear that and confidence. It's rooted in fear and confidence that you don't have in a person on your team or somebody that you need to depend on. And so a lot of people feel like if I'm the best person for all the jobs, so I need to be involved, I need to do it. And then that brings you right into micromanagement. But once you know that the person on your team is qualified, like I said, like Magic knew Kareem was qualified, just get the damn post and get the ball in the low post, and Kareem will take it from there. You know what I mean? There's no problem. So I think a big part of the problem is rooted in confidence and fear. What do y'all say?
I agree with the fear because we're so afraid of somebody knowing more than us and taking our job because they hit it all the time. So I said, man, you send them too much training, they're gonna take your job. And I said, the way I was taught, the more training they get, the better they are, the more vacations I can take.
Wow.
And Joe at top level should understand this. When you lead the right people in charge, you can take a piece of vacation. Your phone ain't gonna keep ringing because you don't put people in charge who can do things. And it's like we look at it so crazily. But and I was taught that's that whole single point of failure thing. We wanna be in so much control that we can't ever sleep because every time something wrong, they gotta call us. And it makes us feel good. Oh, they can't do this without me. Please believe you that they'll figure a way around it.
Well, would you agree that in order to fix a problem, you got to recognize there's a problem. Would that be would that statement be true?
Absolutely.
That's a fact.
So let me suggest to you this, that our people suffer from PTSD. Now, let me not the kind that Darren, a DVP, suffers from, but post-traumatic slave disorder.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. I know exactly where you're going. I've heard. I don't know if I heard this somewhere or you just made that up, Joe. But
Nope.
yeah, it makes sense, man.
But it and if you all other phobias, all other claims to fix a problem have all began with a diagnosis of what is the problem. And when you go to the doctor, they diagnose and then address it. We have never addressed the issues, and that's part of the problem. We have not. This country failed to address the issues of the damages of slavery, not just the economic, but the psychological. And I would suggest to you, I will stand with this, and I've got different studies to show that what I'm about to say is true. That until there is some psychological balance treatment given to us, this thing's going to continue. I mean, look, the self-hate of our people. See, I don't care about everybody else because they ain't the ones dying at such a significant rate. But if we're 14% of the population, and we're making up 30% of missing women in this country are Black, 30 to 34%. Nobody's talking about that. 20% of the prison population per capita is us.
I got a quick statement. Did you know that there's a white guy who's going to he's starting a whole show on that, and he said it came to him when his daughter came up missing and something happened, and some Black mothers came up to him and said, we wish our daughters got that same kind of attention. So he started a movement to make people be more aware of Black women being moved. And remember I told y'all about the Trayvon Martin thing? It seems, and I hate this, an alarming trend. Every time we need something, somebody white stand up for us. Because it's just not talked about. We got black radio shows, we got Black TV shows. They'll talk about everything except making us better.
Hold on. Let me say something, and this is to your credit and to your credit. We're the Black men. Now, let me say this. I don't care what you think about her. Jasmine Crockett been giving them the blues. So where are the Black men that should be standing up with that sister? But now, when you attack Marjorie Taylor Greene, oh my God. You even got Black folks talking about it. Marjorie Taylor Greene being a great person. What the? But her party, even the Black ones, staying with her. So where are our people fighting for us at?
They I know where they at. They're sitting at the table with the NFL owners and deciding on the halftime show. That's where they at.
So I'm gonna tell you where they at. They waiting on a leader.
Was the statement true though?
What was that, Joe?
Was the statement true?
Yeah.
They're waiting on leadership positions, and they're like, as we talked about earlier, they're like the voters. And Joe had said something, and Mo, you start off because I read the book, and we talk about the battle of the bullet, and people take it at a literal thing about they got to vote, and I said you're missing the point. I said because you can have a gun, and you can keep shooting it, but if you're not aiming at a target that's hittable, you're wasting your time. So when a lot of these people who wanted to quote Malcolm and the battle of the bullet theory, yet they start talking about they voting third party, well, you're wasting your bullet. There's no way in hell that the guy with the afro is going to win. And for you to sit there and say that's who you will vote for, he don't even have a campaign. He ain't even named the vice president. So you taking him more serious than he taking himself. How the hell you going to run for president and you don't have a vice president? But, I'm voting third party. We need a third party. You're right. We do need one. But if that's what you're doing in this election, you're saying, in essence, that you would rather vote somebody who you know can't win versus somebody who needs to win. So you're wasting your bullet. So y'all still didn't get the ballot or the bullet mentality because, again, two teams playing the Super Bowl. Nobody cares who your favorite team is. You can pick one of these two teams. That's it. Nobody cares if you're a Detroit Lions fan. They're not in the Super Bowl. It's the Chiefs and the Eagles. Who are you rooting for? I'm rooting for the Steelers. You're stupid. You're stupid. And you know, we talk about them having the right to vote, but if I'm being honest, there are certain things that need to be tested and evaluated. The right to vote, the right to procreate, and I forgot the third one. But those two things, we can't keep just doing them based on age and ability. There's got to be some kind of agility test for this shit to go on, because the people who are doing this at random, they fucking up the curve. Because as Joe was saying, when I'm listening to the people who say that they wouldn't vote for Harris, and like I said, she was never my pick for VP. She wasn't top 3 in my world. But once she did it, and I started doing my research, she ain't as bad as we said she was. It wasn't them. We said how bad she was. She wasn't that bad. And she actually did a lot of good things for people of color. And Joe, like I said, Joe was top management. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joe. How many people is the state attorney general ever been accused of arresting? Most of the time, they don't even prosecute nobody. So how did she get all this done?
Yeah, policymakers.
I mean, 22 years, hell, I ain't seen no attorney make no arrest. But remember I said before, we don't like holding the people who make decisions accountable. When cops make bad arrests, we'll point to the DA's office. We'll ever point to the sheriff or the police chief to make a change. We don't go to the governor or the mayor, because the sheriff works for the governor, the mayor works for the police chief works for the mayor. We don't ever go to people of change. We go to somebody else who will listen to us bitch, gripe, and moan, but they can't do nothing because we like going to the wrong people. Can you tell me, Joe, in your experience, when was the last time one of these judges who let somebody off, when was the last time anybody ever used their name publicly to say, hey, let's make sure we don't vote this guy back in?
That doesn't happen.
Most people don't. And the Rittenhouse judge, he had a history of doing crazy shit.
Yep.
But he was also the longest standing judge in that state. So he got a history of this, but nobody ever says anything when it comes time for re-election, because now we church mouse quiet.
So DV, go ahead, DV.
Go ahead.
No, I want to add on to what you were saying, because I think this is one of the things, what I'm about to say is one of the reasons why a lot of those people just get voted back in, they get in their position or whatever. So if you have ever filled out a voting ballot, it's a long process, okay? It's a long process, and unless you are steeped in knowledge about politics, you need to do research to figure out who the candidate is, what their belief system is, what they do. They got these fancy write-ups. You go to their page, you see them with their family, all the good accolades they do. You know what I mean? They don't have the past history there, though. So I'm thinking what would be a good thing to do would be for somebody, I'm unqualified, I'm just saying right out the gate, but for somebody who knows that space to have kind of like a ballot session, so that way you can get the real details on these people and we can vote for the right folks and the right bills. All these bills got write-ups. They make them, they write them up so pretty and make them look so nice. Oh, we're gonna repave the streets and make your public parks look nice and all that stuff, not knowing that what's gonna happen is the taxes in your facility, in your where you live, are gonna go up or whatever it is. But I just think a forum, when, way before voting time comes around, but a forum to educate people on those things is important, because I'll be honest, myself, I didn't really understand the process till like probably after my 40s, and that is what you want, but there's nothing I can recall from kindergarten all the way through college, because I didn't go into political science, gave me the knowledge I needed to navigate that system properly. So I think we need a space and people, because I can tell you, I watched a show on TV. I think Dr. Ball started doing that. He started explaining certain things to people, and things started making sense. But I think a lot of people just get in there, man, and start taking pop shots and making guesses. My opinion. What are your thoughts?
Well, here's the problem. See, there was this black attorney who names rhyme with the president. He knew stuff when the Trayvon stuff hit, and I read the stand your ground law. See, that's something that could be easily. It could be easily explained, so that an idiot could understand it. And then with the vitriol that came behind all that, he could have put forth something to change that. He didn't even talk about that, and people didn't understand. Well, it's still wrong. It ain't, if it ain't illegal, it ain't wrong. So you can't convict someone. But he never said anything. He's done a couple other cases. He doesn't educate people, but we sing his praises. We sing his praises, and Joe, he don't even get record settlements. And I'm gonna get off this. Understand this: the black cop who shot the white lady that ran at their car got way more money than George got. What's the guy's name? The knee on the neck. George Floyd. Right. If you look at what George Floyd got versus what the white woman who got shot by the black cop, and they didn't even go to the press. We don't do these things, and we love to sit behind people who sit there and sing kumbaya, but they ain't doing nothing for us. So there's certain things, if I'm being honest, we're set up that we don't have to read this. We keep picking leaders who are not leading us, they're leading them. They're leading them. Trayvon Martin got $1 million. Florida offered the family more than that before the dude showed up. He cost them money.
And he got a third.
But they offered them more than $1 million this third because of what happened. But we won't talk about that. We're so, something happened to me, I'm calling him. The worst thing you could do is to call that dude.
I agree.
Because what he's going to do is he's going to offer you money up front, which is what he does. He's a predator. He's going to offer you money up front at a high interest rate, and then he's going to take a third of the settlement. So not only do you get a third of your settlement, you're already indebted to him because he gave you some money up front. This is his pattern. Because go to his little thing website. Look at the testimonials from his clients. You won't see none. They all got drug over the coals while he came and preyed on grieving families. But anyway.
And didn't deliver. But let me throw this last thing out and I'll be quiet. Here's the best example. Let's take the election of judges. In the county of Cook, we have, I believe, close to 500,000 voters. Let's say you got 2 judges running for the same office. Out of 60,000, 70,000 votes for the general election, let's say one guy gets 10 votes, other guy gets nothing. Out of 60,000, the guy with the 10 votes wins. And those 10 votes came from his family.
Wow.
Facts.
Wow.
And then here's the interesting part. How many times have you heard people, and while we're on this judges thing, how many times have you heard people say he didn't get a fair trial? Well, 2 things I would ask you to look at. 1, have you ever served on a jury? And if so, if not, why not? Right. And 2, how did the judge get there? In most cases, he, she, or it was elected or appointed. So the whole thing still goes back to the very base point. And that's why they stay in power. So they know who to vote for. I'm done.
And we won't call out bad players. We won't do it, especially if they don't look like us. You know, one of the people who I had to end the friendship with loved to talk bad about Harris. And don't get me wrong, she wasn't perfect, but she would never say anything bad about the president, this one you got now. I said, so why don't you like her? Oh, You don't ever say anything bad about him. You act like he doesn't. You only complain about black people. All kinfolk ain't skinfolk. What's that got to do with how bad he is? and most of us only want to pick on our own kind, even if the other kind is worse. And it's like that whole mentality, which breeds into what Joe was talking about with the self-hate. It breeds into the, I heard so many. What time is it? How many of y'all heard this statement? I ain't voting for nobody black unless they talking about reparations.
Oh, big time.
How many of y'all heard that? But white people ain't got to talk about it. But you ain't gonna vote for nobody black unless they talk about reparations.
And it's funny. Who got reparations after the Civil War?
That's what I was gonna say. Joe, you the historian. Who's got reparations?
White slave owners.
Who in history has gotten reparations?
White folks.
Who about to get reparations right now?
White folks.
In Africa, yeah.
But check this out. Have y'all seen the new stuff that your POTUS is pushing? That white people who have been, I forgot the word, who have been accosted because of reverse discrimination, he's saying they should get paid.
Oh yeah,
that's what we're talking about.
That's reparations.
Yeah, that's reparations.
Yeah, and anybody who's a victim of reverse discrimination, he wants them to have class action status.
Yeah. What? Again.
And guess what? With this court, he can get it done.
Yes.
Go figure. Because you reminded somebody that their parents held your parents captive, you traumatized them. That's not fair. They should be given $12 million apiece.
Look, this is just for me. I ain't applying this to nobody, but I stopped looking for fair a long time ago. I'm not looking for fair.
And it's okay to look for fair. As we closing, the biggest thing, and I always stick to this, we can't keep calling ourselves king victim. At some point, yeah, life wasn't fair. But once you know it ain't fair, then what are you whining about? Once you know the food is cold, whining ain't gonna make it no hotter. You got a choice. You can eat it or you can find some hot food. Them are your two choices. Oh, I'm sorry, you got a third, or just go hungry. But you talking ain't gonna. So if we know what the problem is, if Joe know every time he walk out the door at 3 o'clock, a broom gonna hit in his face and he keep walking on that same door, then Joe is just stupid. He can't get mad at the people who keep putting that broom over the door. Joe is another door. Or Joe, if you gotta go out that door, why don't you bend down?
Yeah, why don't you duck?
Since we're using Joe, and if Joe comes into this world thinking that he's gonna have equity, Joe's stupid. Since we're using Joe, right?
Wow, let's get on Joe Day, huh? It's gonna be like that. Mo, you know, EVP. Mo, I wasn't gonna bother you today. I was gonna leave you alone, but I can see that, you know, Beanie and Cecil sitting up here. Okay, it's okay. And see, because you're so old, you know who I'm talking about.
I got the internet, sir.
Yeah, okay. You know who I'm talking about.
I don't know nothing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So, you know, but the education is paramount, because the more you know, the smarter you can be. Because for all the hardships that my ancestors went through, for the PTSD that is inherent to us, at some point, we are still victims of our decisions. So at some point, all these things that we keep trying to say happened 1,000 years ago, 100 years ago, 42 years ago. Okay, if I know this is a problem, why am I still doing it? Why ain't I making myself better? I can Google and tell you how much the latest Jordan costs, but I can't Google to see who a judge is. I can't Google to see who this is or that is. We waste our resources because for us to be uneducated now is a choice.
Yeah.
It's a choice. And we keep making that choice and we'll blame other people. They're not limiting our internet access. They're not limiting our social media access. That's what we're doing, and we limit ourselves to content. I won't support Joe, but I'll support Dion because hey, Dion famous. Again, Dion don't need my money. Joe does, but I'd rather help a millionaire make more money than to help somebody who needs it because I want to be the popular guy, but I want to be an activist, and I don't want to talk about things that I might have to do some research on. You know, when me and Joe was talking earlier, if we're gonna do reform, Mo, when you write your book, talk to us. You know how easy it is to get police reform done? You can get police reform done in a day with most things because it's just a policy change.
Yep.
We're not talking about law. We're just talking about when police have bad behavior. You take that policy and go through it and go to it with them. And just like that, it changed. You know, Minnesota, just like that, got rid of that need thing they had going. Just like that. It didn't take an act of Congress. The police chief just changed it when the new one took over. That was it. We don't understand when we can change stuff because we rather argue about things that can't be changed. We can't change what happened to George Floyd. We can't. But if we don't want it to happen to the next person, let's change their policy.
Correct.
We can't change what happened to Trayvon, but we can challenge Florida law. Now that's going to take more than a day or two. That's something that's got to be voted on again. But nobody's ever told us until you read the statute. Like I said, Florida might as well be Texas. Florida law says that once you come on my property, you're trespassing, and I got the right to shoot you. I don't have to be in fear of shit. You just got to be on my property. They can just pick people off for stepping on the grass. I ain't seen too many that were that liberal with no, you know, in Georgia, it's a lot you can shoot people, but it's a lot. You know, the whole, I'm going to shoot them and drag them back in. Well, if that blood pattern start back out, you going to prison. They better be in, and not even they better be in, you better show where they were a threat to you. And because there was a case where a guy broke into a house and went to sleep on the sofa, and the homeowner shot him. And they're like, why'd you shoot him? Well, he was in my house. And it was in one of these cookie-cutter subdivisions where all the houses look alike. So he was drunk. He thought he was at the right house, but he went to sleep on the sofa, and that's where the homeowner shot him. And the homeowner got convicted because there was no threat.
What?
He was asleep on the sofa. So how do you shoot a guy who sleep on the sofa for breaking the house?
Okay, so hold on. So I know we're almost done with the show, but I need to ask this question in because I saw a clip. Y'all might have seen it. I saw a clip where a sheriff he came up to a gate. So this was a property. He came up to the gate, jumped over the gate, went to the house to do a welfare check. Okay. Oh, on the other side of that gate, he's on the property. So he went to the house to do a welfare check. Next thing you know, the homeowner happened to be home, and maybe he got the address wrong or something. I can't remember all the details, but that homeowner was home, got his gun, and started shooting at that sheriff. And the sheriff started running back towards his car, jumped over the gate. Once he got to the other side, the homeowner stopped shooting. And so I try to understand that. I'm like, I didn't know you could do that. And so I did some research. I got some information, but what do y'all think about that?
I'd have to see that because there's more to that story than me.
I'll send it to you then.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
next time.
Put it in the chat. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's always something. And like I said, you know, me and Joe looking at the minutia because it's something we understand. Other subjects come up, I have to do a whole lot of research. But when a lot of legal stuff comes up before we leave, but again, me and Joe got the same pretty much background. His is just a little bit more extensive. But I'm sure when they teach use of force here in Georgia, ability, opportunity, and jeopardy is a legal requirement for use of force by police officers. I ain't never taught being afraid allows you to shoot nobody. But every time I see one of these cases, I keep hearing, I'm trying to figure out where that comes from. You should be afraid 9 times out of 10. You should be afraid when you're at work. It should be a healthy fear, but you should always be on your toes. But you can't shoot nobody because you're scared. But every time I see one of these cases, that's first, I was scared for my life. Well, why were you scared? Why were you scared? Well, ability, opportunity, and jeopardy. And here now we do preclusion. Do these 4 things exist?
Correct.
But it's never challenged. It's never brought up that you can't. Our wives can shoot because they scared. The law's gonna stand behind them. Me and Joe, in theory, can never shoot somebody again because we're scared.
Correct.
Even in retirement, because we've been trained better, that's gonna always come back to haunt us. That these things got to be present unless we're physically disabled. So it's just the education process. So it's 8. And Mo, you got to make sure I set up a 10-minute block just for you to do finances, brother.
All right.
You gotta that's your specific task, because I'm old. You the youngest one, so you gotta remember shit. We need to always do something financial. All right. So don't forget, we always gotta do a financial section. Again, I appreciate you gentlemen for coming and spending time and causing trouble. Remember,
good
ladies and gentlemen,
style, baby.
Anything that we did that was inflammatory was caused by the light-skinned guy. So
and it was on purpose.
Mo. His name is Mo. Mo.
Oh, you lighter than me, Joe. I think you got me by.
Hey, not from where I sit, brother. You look like right tonight. Look, and DVP is just lucky because the light is low. Otherwise, I get him.
Yeah. He got the sun behind him, so he's
he got the little sunset. He got Trina feeding him drinks and whatnot. I mean, ain't nobody giving me no pina colada.
Singing songs, we don't got that. What the hell is all that about?
Hey,
well, my pina colada got poison in it, so if I don't make it to the next show, y'all know where to start.
Don't even try.
Oh, what you got? What you got for parting shots for me, Obi-Wan?
Well, I got some. I just picked up a couple of new books today, man. And again, we've got to start. We've got to do better. We got to do our own book club. And if you say that's what you want me to do, then that's what we're gonna do.
Well, between you and Mo, y'all been talking about it. Let's get on it.
Hey, Mo owes me another book. The second book, I read the first one. What's the second one, Mo? Come on, tell me the second book.
I didn't say you the second book.
No, and you didn't sign the first one, so now you really got a problem.
That's foul, man. Why you had to tilt your head when you said that? That's for effect, I guess, huh? All right, you read the autobiography or the policing book?
The policing book.
All right, I'll send you the autobiography. I'm writing it down right now, Joe. As soon as I get off the line, it's coming to you.
Man. All right. Don't play, man. Don't play with me.
I wouldn't think of it.
All right, gentlemen. Well, it's been a good one again. And let's talk offline about setting this other thing up and let's get going.
All right, Mo, what you got for a parting shot for me, Mo?
Oh man. Today I'll focus on something a little different. I'm just gonna say everybody on this panel, we still here. And I'm gonna say that's a testament to how we took care of ourselves. And I'm gonna say everybody out there, be more afraid of dying than the needle, somebody violating you, taking medicine, whatever you got to do, man. Go take care of yourself. Go to the hospital, do your exams, do whatever you got to do, man. Take care of yourself.
Amen. And we got a show coming up because my dental hygienist told me that ED comes from bad oral hygiene, fellas. Ladies, make sure he brushing his teeth, getting them cleaned, and all the other stuff. We're gonna do a segment on
ED comes from
oral hygiene and ED.
Bad oral hygiene. So they think not getting hurt because they don't brush their teeth.
I heard her.
So y'all, she ain't singing, but y'all can hear her. All right, so hey, I'll be here next week. Hopefully, I'm gonna see what this tequila like because I heard she put some arsenic in it, and so if I don't make it, y'all know. I don't know why. All right, y'all know what it is, right? Till next week, peace, popcorn, and chicken grease, and we out.
Love, peace, and grease.
Easy.
Easy.